What's up everybody? Welcome back to week 37 of the grind to Radiant in-game and in real life. This week is all about building and growing, all towards becoming just a really strong leader. I want to be strong, I want to be organized, I want to be structured. This morning, I started off my week by just kind of looking in the mirror and reflecting, and I felt really weak, to be honest. Not in like a self-hatred manner. It was just a simple observation. It's based around the fact that I haven't been physically training, I haven't been consistent, and I'm kind of doing what I want instead of doing what I need to do to become great. As a result, I've lost 2 kilos, I'm not improving as fast as I'd like, and I've just overall gotten to a point where I'm like, nah, we need to make some changes, and that's what we're going to do this week. Last week, the mental overload that we faced just shrouded our progression big time, and I'm not too happy with the effort that I put in while training. I just could have given more passion to each exercise. The goal this week is to just do a little bit less training, but make sure that it's all perfect practice and just remove as much excess gunk as possible so that I can bring in things like the gym and cooking to really crank up our progression. Yo, it's me from the future. Sorry to interrupt, but I left out some context, okay? This week, I really wanted to make sure that I was way more G'd up and way more excited to grind and destroy Valorant. But then when I relax and I'm not doing that, like I'm cooking or cleaning, I'm trying to really relax, like I'm in a meditative state. Instead of vice versa, training Valorant with a relaxed mind and cleaning with that grinding mindset, just trying to rush it, you know, not mindful at all. That's what I'm trying to achieve, and that's what I try and show through the editing of this video. It fizzles off because just like everything, I fizzle off on my habits and I haven't figured out how to build them yet, so I end up forgetting and it doesn't continue. Now, this strength that I want to gain all starts with diet, so my daily goal is half a kilo of mince, 2 kilos of sweet potato, 6 slices of Gouda cheese, and then some extra veggies with that as well, just for the nutrition. I think it ends up being exactly what I need, however, we can tweak that as we go. Now, this morning full of meal prep was all about letting go and just embracing the relaxation, just getting really mindful while I cook, no rush, nothing. Alright, that's enough relaxing or I'm gonna become weak, okay? It is time to channel the inner fire, the flame inside of me that just wants to become the best, to conquer and destroy anything in my way from becoming Valorant's most mechanically dominant player. And today, that all starts with 50 minutes of tracking on Kovacs. Last week, I changed my SENS, and what that means is I lost a lot of my mouse control and I want it back. For my aim training this week, the plan is to do nothing but tracking. I won't accept any less than walking away better than before I change my sensitivity. This spreadsheet is what I'm going to use to track my progression from the start to the end of this week. I start with the novice benchmarks and I ended up first trying every single one and then moved on to the intermediate benchmarks. The intermediate ones were a hell of a lot harder, and I realized that probably doesn't help that I have a sensitivity randomizer on. It's perfect for our training, but for our benchmarks we need consistency. And on top of that, I also limit my attempts to just 5 per scenario, making sure that I'm not farming scores for half an hour trying to really prove to myself that I'm better than I am. But this damn spreadsheet humbled me, man. I barely got plat. Now, one thing that is absolutely worth noting and is 100% bothering me to the core is this humidity situation. The second it starts to heat up and my room starts to get humid, my arm glues to the mouse mat and I end up losing my entire ability to track whatsoever. And basically, it just seems like my progression is dependent on the weather. The last 15 minutes of my like 1.5 hour training session was pretty rushed because my arm was starting to stick and it was frustrating me and I was just kind of over it. But that's enough aim training for now. I've got my sweet potato and cauliflower prepped, ready to go. All I have to do is just cook up a quick burger cheese, and hey, we've got another meta meal in just 10 minutes. I keep up that momentum and we get on our gym grind. Full body, 3 sets per exercise to the absolute death, giving it everything that I've got. Between each set, I've got a 2-minute rest where I don't give myself the pleasure of doing something entertaining. I have to sit there and stare at the trees until I'm ready for the next set. After finishing my first exercise, which is squats, I ended up realizing that I was just trying to survive the set and I wasn't conquering it. This is weak, and the simple mindset shift is that nah, this 12 repetition threshold isn't here to save me. I'm not just exercising to reach 12, I'm exercising to destroy the 12, to go so far beyond it. This energy is what was missing. Like, without hesitation, I just ended up getting in a cold shower, freezing water for like 4 minutes, just embracing it because I wanted the pain. I wish the water was colder. I wanted it to be colder. All right. Slow down. Drop the intensity, all right? That's what we're doing. I just start to take my time, let go of the grind, let go of everything, and just become more present in the moment, basically. I just take care of my skin, take care of my hair, just give my mind a second to catch up. you know? Our obsidian dots finally came. The idea is that they're going to help with our smoothness and tracking. I'm just taking my time. I'm making sure that I put them on perfectly, and there's no rush, alright? The world is not ending. Do not stress. Trying the mouse feet for the first time, they were a lot faster, but so much smoother. It was actually a lot of fun, and I was really happy with it. I didn't expect it to make as much of a difference as it did. But man, it feels really good just letting go and slowing down a little bit every now and then. Like, I'm really embracing the mindfulness. It's actually exactly what I wanted, and that was to harness both masculine energy and feminine energy in order to achieve like a really optimal day. Technically, I can cook and clean and organize things in a masculine essence. However, I would be fully locked in trying to complete the task as efficiently and quickly as possible so that I can get on to the next thing. And that's not going to help me, because at the end of the day, if at no point throughout the day I just stop for a bit and let go and let my mind process and catch up, that's where I burn out. But despite it being super important to bring feminine energy into the picture, it's also something that I have to manage. And if I do go too far with it and I spend too much of my day just letting go, relaxing, deciding on what I do based on my feelers and chasing the desires and pleasures that I want, I'm never gonna compete with the people that get to business and put the work in despite them not wanting to. At the end of the day, my job is based around competition, and I want to be the best, so I need to outwork as many people as possible, and feminine energy should not be my priority. Don't worry guys, because that is why we get straight back to one-on-one combat to the absolute death. We've got Zach, who's hopped into a custom with us and is practicing when to trace, when to angle hold, when to peek, basically simulating some little duels and just making sure that I'm always making the correct mechanical decisions when it comes to fighting people. Remember the whole drama about information overload last week? Well, this week we have corrective measures. I cancelled my coaching session with Dopeye, and I cancelled all the seminars that I was planning to attend. I don't want any more information because I already know exactly what I need to be actioning, and any more information on top of that is just simply going to overload me, and I'm just going to not make any progress anyways. So we're learning from our mistakes. Let's just give ourselves the space to catch up, and then we'll reintroduce the coaching and do it properly. Everything that I practiced with Zach, I took it to deathmatch and put it to the test. However, the masculine essence and that fire in me, that spark, it was starting to fizzle, and I was just a little bit too relaxed, too calm, too careless. It was like I didn't fully transition my mental from one state to the other. Because of that, I came second place in a deathmatch. Wake up, bro. This is your career. Second place, bro. You're asking to stay in the warehouse. I reset. We're back into our masculine energy, okay? Fully locked in. I end up jumping into a custom game with Lenny and going all out. This training session, it had to be all out. If I want to be the best, I need to give training my absolute all. Also, for the sake of Lenny to be the best, I need to push him as hard as possible. But yeah, I was like seeing red. Competition was just flowing through me. At this point now, like, I was hungry to win. We spent a pretty good amount of time once again just practicing our peeking, practicing our holding. We spend like a good 15 minutes just practicing our micros by using the meta classic method. Once we were done, it was straight back to DM. However, this time I made sure 100% that I did not let my desire to be the best fade at all. Like, I actually made sure to win. It was a gift to both myself so that I could progress faster and get more effective practice in, but hey, it was also a gift to my enemies. So once again, pushing them harder, shining light on their weak spots. They deserve it, you know? They deserve my complete focus and peak performance. These death matches were a warm-up for our scrim practice session, another training session that once again requires our utmost masculine essence. After some productive scrims, I once again just reset and let go and come back to the present moment in that feminine energy. I didn't quite meet the expectations that I'd set for myself in terms of diet. What I do though is hop off at 10 PM to do our 1 hour wind down and spend some time thinking and organizing my thoughts. This time was extremely productive, and I ended up coming up with some cool ideas. I was going to tell you now, but I'm going to leave it a surprise until I action it. A new morning begins, and my muscles are completely fried. But don't worry about that, because we need to go get some food, and we're going straight to Woolies because of it. First of all, I'm just looking for a really clean peanut butter, one that's just made of peanuts and salt or something like that, and then just the usual sourdough and beef mince, all up costing me like 27 buckers. Coming back home, I made a beautiful plate of peanut butter sourdough bread and watched the Carmine Corp vs Navi game. I actually ended up watching it with mum, and I was showing her how it all works and what the professional play is like. Today I woke up extremely sore, which is to be expected because yesterday was our first first gym session in a very long time. This is where I decide we should probably just relax a bit and try and do some cleaning, get some chores and obligations done. But yeah, I just felt like I couldn't really define the energies that I wanted to use in the day anymore. For example, I hop into the custom prac, but I'm just really sore and tired, so I don't really give it as much passion as I did yesterday. Regardless though, I start with some dry runs on split just to get my lurking down nice and clean, and then I get Zach into the custom to just practice contacting space. Once again, just giving me direct feedback every time I make a mistake. In this time, I was able to optimize my mid peak and just my overall pathing, which is really good. And eventually we took it to a whole new level by adding in a cipher trip. And that's something that normally catches me off guard in games. So I need to become a little bit more composed when I do see a cipher trip. One thing that's super cool about this kind of practice is that, yeah, you just get that composure really fast. I just got in 20, 30 repetitions climbing mid with a cipher trip, and I don't know, I think I can handle it pretty well now. Now, if you guys remember when Gavin and I figured out the absolute meta way to clear Haven's garage and just contact every single angle up the window, we're basically doing the same thing here with Zach, but just about peeking and peeking micro. Basically what we figured out is that you can crouch peek in certain scenarios to absolutely abuse angle advantage. It's only in very niche scenarios, for example when you have about 11 meters of distance from the angle and you also have good angle advantage and the enemy is holding, but every single time it's an insta kill. That I can't react to that. It's very, very challenging. Oh my goodness. I can't kill you when you do that. Dude, wait, if you play right there, so many people play on site there. So if you're able to read these situations well, you can insta-kill these people and win this fight easily, effortlessly. The problem is, if you use it in the wrong scenarios, it's just as bad as a regular crouch peek. You're gonna get shit on. 11? Okay, so I have to preempt that angle.
Yeah, you got preempt.
Bro, okay. Internalize this. We have to internalize this now. Oh shit. Now straight away Zach and I wanted to get more practice on this, so we go into a deathmatch. However, in deathmatch no one holds angles, or not nearly as much as they need to for us to get effective practice here. So we decided to leave it for the deathmatch and hop onto swift play instead, where we just 100% focus on lurking and going for dry duels. This was some of the most effective practice I could have ever imagined getting for our peeking technique. Not just for the insta-death crouch peek, but also just for our peeking decisions in general and how we approach every single duel. My favorite clip of the week is this one here, and I can break it down and explain why. The first duel with the neon, I'm 100% expecting a peek here, and I've got extreme angle advantage, so I opt to go wide, but trace the angle as I move instead of going for a pre-aim. After missing my shot, I immediately reposition and go for an angle hold. Based on the sound cues that Teo's heard, he most likely expects me to be pretty far from the angle. However, I walk close to the angle that he's about to swing, and then I jump scare him and just go full wide and swing him. Now, of course, the neon wants to trade him, right? So we're angle holding and we're extremely ready for the swing. After missing a bullet, she saw me far away, so I walk close to the angle and then eventually go wide and jump scare her as well, getting another free kill. The last one is beautiful though. I'm expecting Raze to peek, so I'm angle holding. Eventually I hear him jump on the box, and it takes me a little bit, alright, but then it clicks. He's on the box. He's within 10 meters. He has to be at angle disadvantage. This is the perfect opportunity for the insta-death crouch peek. He literally can't react and he just insta-dies. And then the final kill here, I just wide swing the gecko because it's swift play, but you can see every single fight, the decisions are flawless. Every single bullet fired is in an advantageous position, whether it's an off angle, jump scaring the enemy, or just giving unreactable crouch peeks. We're coming along so well. This is progress, but hey, the job's not finished yet, alright? Now remember the surprise idea that I was going to mention, but I didn't? Well, the idea is to expand the Big Burger Cheese Premier team. What I wanted to do was build a second team as well as incorporate an analysis team to help with all things Valorant theory, like anti-stratting opponents, coming up with plays, and also just helping us all improve as individual players. Basically, I just realized I've got a lot of experience in business, I enjoy leading, and this will sharpen me as a leader, and I've got the resources and community to do something like this. Why not just skyrocket our progression? So we're going to have the main team, I'm going to build an academy team, and then I'm also going to build an analysis team, and we're all going to work in cohesion to get the most optimal practice. Main team does some theory, right? Tuesday, find something to work on. We get into a custom game with the academy team and we just practice that. Min-max practice that. Thursday, everyone plays their prem. Friday, We get the main team playing a scrim, then we get the analysis team to review that scrim, okay? And then Sunday morning, we're gonna meet up with the analysis team and we're gonna debrief what they've analyzed. And then we're gonna practice what the analysis team has told us to practice with the academy team. It's genius. Now, in just 1 hour from when I made the Discord, I was able to put together an entire academy team as well as have some extra subs. We've also ended up with 5 team analysts and even a mental health department. Like, this is actually pretty mad. Now, while I'm in the headspace of getting things done, I ended up playing a deathmatch with the intentions of VOD reviewing it. I'll show you guys a bit of footage, but this is some Ko-Fi behind the scenes stuff. What we're looking for is every death and every kill. If I go wide, was I going wide close to the angle? If I go wide, did I go wide with information or did I go wide blind? Should I have traced the angle? Did I have angle advantage? Whatever it is, we're gonna break it all down. We're gonna figure it all out. Cool. Okay, how do we tally this up? Hey, I need to figure that out. Calculator. Let me get my calculator up. 67% accuracy, guys. Lock that in. 67.86% accuracy. Thank you very much, Bognasis. Now, I'm just gonna take a second now to give the biggest thank you to all the Ko-Fi supporters because you guys are absolute legends. $3 a month everyone puts in, and I do try my best to make it a win for you guys with resources, community interactions, like what we've got going on with the Premier team, but also just the Discord community where everyone can hang out and have some fun. There is a link in the description to check out the Ko-Fi page where you can support the channel, and that's all. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the video. Now, tonight is our first Premier game, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been pretty disorganized. Like, I didn't think ahead at all because I've done a full body workout yesterday. My muscles are fatigued, my aim is shaky, and I just didn't think ahead, right? I didn't think ahead. I gotta be like prepared for game day. Now, for our first Premier, we ended up versing the same team twice, and the first game they had a fill, so it was a little bit easier, and the second game they sort of gave us a run for our money, and it was a lot harder and shined some light on some weaknesses and whatnot, but we're gonna get straight onto it, don't worry. I was expecting a poor performance from myself, but not really bad at all. Like, I was actually pretty happy. We gave it our best effort, you know? Out of respect for the other players, we gotta make them better by punishing their weaknesses.
Two underneath us. Backside and mid, behind you guys.
I'm wrapping, go right side.
101 Reyna. Go to 50, like 50 tag.
As it easy to get you off the
Holy nice, GG guys.
GG guys.
Something light for the boys.
Big burger cheese
you guys
first
are
up,
excited.
boys. To win both of our first Premier games is really exciting because this is the work that we've put in just as a 5-man Prem team. Moving forwards, we have 5 analysts, an entire academy team to drill against, and just a whole new environment to take advantage of. Good shit, boys. 30 kills point. Now, as Lenny's favorite quote always goes, the job's not finished yet, so we're straight onto smooth tracking to make sure that we continue to improve every single day. In the meantime, the analyst team was already onto the stats, showing us on average how much value each player provides to each round. They basically took all in-game metrics, like how we perform in clutches, multi-frags, how we trade, how much damage we do per round. They just took it all and they just crunched the numbers, man. They got the numbers, they got the data. But yeah, by the time this session was over, it was a bit too close to bed to cook, so I didn't end up meeting the goal for my food once again. And it's not a big deal, but it made me realize that it really takes my full focus to get my food perfect. Like, I really have to choose diet or grind. I finish off the night watching some Haven Pro VODs, and the next morning I wake up feeling a whole lot groggier, to be honest, because yeah, the night before I didn't give myself a proper wind down and I watched the VODs until way too late, like 11 o'clock when I'm actually meant to be asleep. But I get stuck into Weet-Bix as well as my first task for the day, which is to fix my broken red light. Basically, when I turn it on, it just flashes a whole bunch. So normally I can open up these kind of things and just tinker until it works, but this one was above my pay grade, so rest in peace red light, you'll be missed. Now, the reason I'm queuing into a Haven custom as well as was watching Haven VODs last night is because the next Prem is on Haven, and yeah, I'm going to be playing that Cypher, so I gotta get onto it. Since watching the VODs though was the last thing I did this session, it was just all coming back to me, like it downloaded overnight, and now I've just got all these cool cams, setups, and retake cages that I can just sort of throw. Once I was done mucking around though, it's straight to deathmatch where I was hard focusing on my tracking. I'm starting to get my strength back and my muscles are starting to function again, so yeah, the tracking is slightly better. However, I'm trying my hardest not to focus on that sort of stuff because I just want it to be a part of the journey. I want it to be, oh, today my aim's not going to be as precise because I exercise, instead of the old mentality of, oh, my aim's bad, exercise must be bad, guys. Now, watching pro VODs is a fast way to improve your game sense. However, watching pro clips of S-tier mechanics in between your deathmatches is on a whole new level, and that's exactly what I do with my favorite Premier clip of all time. You can literally see, like, I watch it and it just transforms my mechs, even just in the next deathmatch alone. Each day I do this, it just ingrains deeper and deeper. So when someone in the stream suggested that I should check out Prime Yay, I was very excited to do so. He showcases all the fundamental principles that I've been trying to learn, like tracing and pre-aiming, but adds in this whole new level of stability and control. It's like he doesn't waste any movements of his mouse. After making use of the visualizer, instantly I was taking my time a little bit more. I felt the stability, I felt the control, and I really enjoyed the slightly slower pace. It helped me hold my angles for a little bit longer, and when I peak, just take my time a tiny bit more. A funny connection I'm only making as I edit this now is that I've definitely defined 2 different paces. Just like how I defined 2 paces at the start of the video of how I approach my day, I can do the same with my pacing here as well. One being very cool, calm, collected, and present and aware, not making any mistakes and doing the job done just perfectly and clearing every single angle and just taking my time with it. Absolutely no rush whatsoever, which I'm now comparing to me when I clean and I take my time and I do it to perfection, and that whole thing, just a little bit of a slower pace. But then we've also got that fast-paced, primmy death ball movement where we're running between repeaks, tracing neutral angles instead of pre-aiming, going instantly wide more often, and there's just no time. We got to get things done, you know. We got to get on site, business. We got things to achieve, you know, which I'm obviously comparing to the pace at which I want to be training at. If I allocate the wrong energy and mindset to a task IRL, then I either move too fast through tasks that needed to be done slowly, or too slowly when I've got things that need to be done. It's the same in Valorant. If the situation is not one where I'm under time pressure and I need to perfectly execute every single clear, aka I'm contacting space, then I need to do so in that correct pace, because if I rush that, I'm useless. On the other side of that though, if I'm just taking my time and clearing every single angle perfectly and meticulously while the team's trying to rush onto site, I'm useless once again. I'm not going to be trading people out and I'm just going to be slow and behind everyone. So there is just a definitively correct pace to work at, and they can be associated with different types of mindsets. Now, because I don't want to dig too deep into this idea that I'm pretty excited about, I'm just going to end it by saying how you do anything is how you do everything. In real life, if I don't consciously make sure that I'm allocating the right energy, I just simply end up allocating the wrong energy. In Valorant, if I don't think about allocating the right pace and the right mindset to a specific situation, I also end up not picking the right one. If I want to improve my Valorant pacing, I need to improve my ability to read a situation and then allocate a specific type of mindset to that. Now, I hope that wasn't too much and you're still with me, because after watching us pass lose, we're getting straight into a chest, shoulders, and triceps workout. I'm not gonna lie, it's absolutely killing my Valorant progression because I just feel like I lose all my mechanics, but hey, after a month or so, hopefully I just fully get used to it and then I'll be able to consistently perform despite working out. And then we are on for greatness. Now, I get a second package for the week in the mail, part two to the humidity problem. First though, obviously the blanket was soaking, so I gotta give that lad some sunlight, but then I get some peanut butter sourdough going once again, and we do a bit of a cool unboxing video. Now, the reason for this purchase is that I really needed to tackle the humidity problem. It was like every second day I just couldn't play, basically. The 2 variables in this are my skin getting sweaty, but then the cloth pads gripping that, and also changing based on the weather, like the threads tighten and loosen based on humidity. So they're either a control pad or a speed pad based on the weather, and I just didn't want that. I don't want my performance to be based on the weather. And the idea to solve that was a glass mouse pad. If you're unfamiliar with glass pads, they're ultra smooth, ultra fast, and they're very hard to get used to. It's like high skill ceiling supposedly. Yeah, to be honest, I thought that vertical aiming would be impossible with an arm sleeve on cloth for some reason. But when I put the arm sleeve on, it was perfectly fine on the cloth pad. So look, maybe a questionable purchase, I agree, but that's hindsight. I thought that this was the only way to solve the humidity problem. This mousepad is like ridiculously fast, and it's actually hard to micro adjust. It was forcing me to like finger aim, and I've never finger aimed before. Wide flicks were also a huge shock. Like, it's weird, it's so satisfying, yet I'm just performing so horribly at the same time. I don't know. I was quickly starting to see some progression, but like then I would just go to simple target switching scenarios that I'd used to smash, but it was just like nightmare fueling. I'm not even going to say this is like just a long road. This is an extremely long road, and I just have to embrace it. Like the sensitivity change and the gym. It's just a huge rough patch, okay? And I'm just reinventing myself Tiger Woods style. I'm basically taking like 2 steps back so that eventually I can take 5 steps forwards, you know? Anyways, just put everything on the back burner, we'll be good eventually. Let me show you guys what's up with the Prem team now. This here is a 2-hour training session that we did with the analysis team, the main team, and the academy team. Firstly, the analysis team showed us how Haven is actually played and the ins and outs to contesting neutral space. Next, we set up a drill where the attackers spread out, threaten each lane, force the defenders to respect the space, then the defenders would respond, fight for the space, hold it down, and the attackers have to regroup, pick a lane, and then re-clear it. It was actually mind-blowing how much better both the defending and attacking side got throughout the entire drill. Let's say we just do our regular practice, which is a scrim, and we say, okay guys, let's work on our defaults. A practice scrim takes about 60 minutes, and say you default half of the rounds you play on attack, you get 6 rounds. Not only that, but between every single repetition, chances are you don't get time for direct feedback. Compare that to our drill, and in 90 minutes, we finished 55 rounds. Each round, the attackers regrouped and cleared out 3 lanes. This means that our attackers got 165 repetitions clearing contested space in just 90 minutes. In comparison to the scrim match, which had 6 repetitions an hour, that leaves us with 110 repetitions an hour, over 18 times more effective than the scrim practice. In this one 90-minute drill session, I think we progressed 5 times as much as we did in the last 2 weeks of random scrims. Absolutely everyone involved walked away with so much value and improved as a player, and for me, it opened my eyes to the possibilities of what a good leader can produce. Like, this is barely scratching the surface of what our BBC empire could grow to. But anyways, I get straight to giving my absolute all to training once again, just doing our arms and the muscles that will help us stabilize our aim, and it's going to impact our aim negatively, but at this point, what have I got to lose? Like, new sensitivity, new mouse mat, new arm sleeve, new mouse feet. We've already done a full body workout. There's nothing to lose. There's nothing to lose. So let's just get past this little building phase and we're going to come out a whole different player. I'm actually very certain that the glass mousepad is not a good decision and that I'm not going to necessarily reap the benefits that are worth having a 2 to 3 week adaptation phase. I think that my time is going to be most efficiently spent on a cloth pad and then just using the arm sleeve to deal with the humidity. Even if it's not perfect, it's so much better than what it was originally. So if I can't send it back, maybe I can chuck it on eBay and get some money back. But either way, it was a valuable lesson learned. And with that, I decided to call the main portion of the video. However, I'm just going to go over everything else that I did for the rest of the week. I want to make sure that I hold myself accountable there as well. Saturday, I got some cardio done. I'm currently in the process of figuring out a workout routine that is structured around the premiere days as well as our training. I want those to be the days where I'm rested and recovered and maybe I'm grinding cardio instead of lifting. And then the days where I'm editing, I'm more than happy to have sore arms because I'm not playing or doing nothing. A beautiful part of having the community that we do is that sometimes you guys end up slapping me in the face with some very real reminders, and this comment here was one of them. Consistency is key, and I need to be resilient on my aim training and VOD reviews if I want to get where I want. And that it's just a matter of staying hard. I need to stay hard. When I implement something like VOD reviewing or aim training, I do it while it's on my mind, but I don't build the habit and then it disappears. And I need to hold on to this. I need to just be able to do things without needing to think about it. That's when I decided maybe I should start scheduling things into the calendar. However, I actually struggled with this as well. And by the time I check the calendar, I've just missed everything I booked in. So I'm going to take a completely different approach to that. The plan is to utilize habit stacking and create a really consistent day-to-day routine that I stick to and follow to the point where I wake up and know exactly what I need to do in a day. To start, at 7:30 every single morning, I'm going to set my circadian rhythm by using my SAD lamp. The plan is to then stack another habit on top of that, so when I'm done, I move on to that. However, I'm not going to overwhelm myself and I'm just going to focus on this habit until it's fully built. I spent some time on Saturday also doing some VOD reviews and I found so much success, and I want to make that a habit eventually, just make it something automatic that I do without thinking. And to wrap up, smoothies. The whey protein isn't a whole food, but at least it's cost effective, time effective, and it's giving me enough protein to make some gains. Now I've made it all the way through to Tuesday and that's all for the video. I want to just say that I have stuck to the blue light every single morning since I started, and I'm not focusing on any other habit building. It's coming along. We're on day 3, so going into the next week will be day 4. And if we get through it, hopefully 11 days straight, get it to 30 days, and I'll consider that built. I'm going to stack the next habit on top, and eventually I'll be able to go through an entire day of just training and effective practice and all these things without thinking. Free my mind to do all these other beautiful things. So hopefully I can do this. I really want to do this. So I'll make it happen anyways. But yeah, I'm going to say goodbye now. I appreciate everyone for watching this far, and check out the Ko-Fi and the subscribe button if you're interested, just to support the channel. But if not, there'll be another video for you next week, free of charge, I promise. Until next time, everybody, I appreciate you stopping by.